Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Tank be chopping, and we back with another haircut video. So check it out, man. What we gonna be doing on this cut is we actually just gonna be doing a mid fade. We aren't taking any length off of the top. So as you can see, I'm combing out my man's hair, and the reason for that is he had a little bit of product in his hair, which actually made this haircut a little bit harder than what it needed to be. It's best to come into the barbershop with your hair nice and clean. That way the hair doesn't stick to the scalp. That way it's easy for me to brush away the excess hair that I cut off, and the hair actually does what the hair is supposed to do, not kind of what you got it doing with the product in your hair. But nonetheless, man, as you can see, we're debulking the sides. I believe this is my number 4 guard, because just typically I go over the sides with a number 4 and then a number 3 before I actually start fading. But I did this haircut like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not 100% sure what guard this is, but I'm pretty sure it's a number 4 guard. But as you can see, we just coming right up to that parietal ridge, flicking out the clipper, and then this is the guard right below that. So if that was a 4 guard, this is my number 3 guard. Doing the same thing, just basically blending into that number 4 guard just to make it easier for me to blend into. Now I know I only really got to blend into a number 3 guard. I really don't have to worry about, you know, the longer length on top. So that's why I like to do my debulking before I actually start fading. Once again, it just helps give me a clean canvas and makes it easier for me to actually get a nice blend. Alright, so now that is done, as y'all can see, I'm taking my trimmer, and FYI, I know y'all seen it, I am using the new Babyliss joints, the new Babyliss Low Pro FX1s, I believe they're called the Sandstorms, but that's what we're using on this cut. But we are taking that trimmer, bought my man out. This trimmer does have the graphite blade on there. I believe it's the graphite 2.0, and one thing I will say about the graphite 2.0 blade is it's a great blade for balding. So if you're interested in purchasing this, not just this trimmer but the set, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com. Use my discount code TANK10 on that website. That way you can save yourself a little bit of money upon purchasing this. Not even just this, anything they got on their website, you can use that discount code, and once again it will give you a discount on that purchase. But nonetheless, as you can see, we got our bald guideline set in there, dropping it down a little bit in the back just because I like to give myself a little more room in the back when blending. And then as y'all can see here, I am using my FX1 shaver. This is just the green version of the shaver, basically the same thing as the gold one or the black one. This is just the newest one that I had, so it's the one I'm gonna keep on my station for a minute, right? But nonetheless, man, as you can see, we're taking that shaver, getting the sides down to that length. And the reason why I like to do shavers on the majority of my clients is it makes the haircut last a little longer. So whether they're getting a taper fade, high fade, low fade, drop fade, you know, low taper, high taper, it don't matter. 90% of the time I'm going to be using that shaver unless they specifically tell me not to, or for whatever reason their skin can't take the shaver, then I won't use it. But 99.9% of the rest of the time I'm going to be using the shaver, because once again I think it gives the haircut a cleaner look and it helps the haircut last a little longer. So once again, only times I won't use it is if they specifically ask me not to, or if I know they get their skin irritated, you know, they're sensitive to the shaver, or they may get some ingrown hairs or some razor bumps, then I won't use it. But other than that, I'm going to use this razor to get it down to that shaver length. And now that is done, we're gonna go ahead and create our next guideline. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my Low Pro FX1, clipper open, setting in another section, and we're coming up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch or so. Now this section is basically gonna determine how compressed your fade is, right? So if you like your fades to be a little more compressed, you might wanna put your guidelines a little smaller. But me personally, I like my blends to look a little more stretched, right? So I like to stretch it out a little more. So that's the reason for me doing this guideline a little bigger than some barbers would, right? Some of them would do it a lot smaller, but me personally, this is a good size guideline for the type of blend that I'm trying to achieve. And now that we got that done, we're gonna move on to our next step, which is taking the number 1 guard lever open, and we're basically gonna create another section following the same shape we originally created. So as you can see, once again, guys, towards the back, we are dropping it down slightly. Once again, that's just to give us some more room in the back. That way we don't completely kill that crown. And we're just coming up, once again, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch or so, using a very slight flick out motion. Don't over exaggerate the flick out. I see some videos where a lot of barbers are like flicking out, like, I can't even explain it, but they're doing too much, right? You don't gotta flick out that much. It's just a slight flick out motion. And now that is done, we're gonna move on to the number 2 guard lever open. And once again, guys, we're gonna go all the way around the head, and then once we get to the opposite side of my client's head, we're gonna start actually blending some of these sections out. So once again, this is my 2 guard lever open, and this is basically blending into that number 3 that I did earlier on in the haircut. And if I need to do some detail work later on, I will. But 2 guard open, trying to blend into that number 3, and then once that is done, I'm gonna close my 2 guard, which makes it a true number 2. And as you can see here, I'm attacking that section still, trying to lighten up that line. I may need to come back with my 1.5 guard and clean that up. And that's exactly what I'm doing here, is taking that 1.5 guard, cleaning up that area just to make that look a little more, you know, a little more blurrier, a little more blended, and a little more faded. And as you can see, I'm just attacking these areas that I feel I need to attack with this guard. And once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and start attacking this bottom section. I'm going in with my clipper halfway open, working my way halfway into this section, really just seeing what the clipper does. Obviously, I'm gonna have to close my clipper to attack that bottom line, but I wanted to see how everything looked with just my clipper halfway open first, and then I decided to close my lever. And as you can see here, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of lever play just to get this part of the blend to look, you know, to get that transition to look right, because if not, there'll be some dark areas, some light areas. So I'm trying to make it look all blended and make it look all the same, make it look all uniform. Now that that is done, I am taking my half guard lever all the way open, and I'm basically just blending the rest of this part of the blend out. As you can see, this part of the blend is basically gonna complete the haircut. Now, I will have to go back in and do some detail work, but for the most part, the blend is done. I just have to go back in and do some detail work after I use this half guard. Once again, I'm starting off with the half guard open and then just adjusting my lever close as needed. And then we're moving on to a little bit of detail work with that 1.5 guard. Now here is my 1 guard lever open, doing the same thing, guys, just adjusting my lever as needed. Basically just doing some lever play to get this part of the blend to look right. Once again, he did have some product in his hair, so it did make it a little more difficult for me to blend. Like I said earlier in the video, guys, you want these clients to come in with clean hair. Traditionally, or you know, typically what you would do is you would wash the client's hair, right? But we didn't do that in this video. We just went straight to cutting. But nonetheless, now I'm taking my trimmer, and as you can see, I'm attacking that line at the bottom, that shaver line, using the corner of my trimmer also to help blend this section out a little more. And then we're gonna go on to the edge up. And as you can see here, I'm starting off in the middle of my client's head, setting in my initial guideline, and then I'm just gonna work my way over to this side of the blend. Now, I say this in a lot of my videos, but I like to do this because it helps give me more of a finished product on this side, so I can kind of see what needs to be detailed more. So once I put that line up in there, I saw that I needed to blend into the top a little more. So what I decided to do was take my blending shears and do blending shears over comb just to make this transition look nice and smooth. And as you can see, I'm not taking out big chunks of his hair. I'm just really just cutting the ends a little bit, giving a few little snips, combing the hair down, and just seeing basically what it does. And if you do it properly, you'll get a nice blend. And if you just go in and start cutting, a lot of times you can leave people looking like it's just gonna add a lot of texture and it's gonna look really choppy, and that's not what I wanted to do. But once we did that, I decided to go back in and do some more detail work with my clipper. So I started off with my clipper no guard, and now we have the half guard on there once again, trying to bring this side of the blend together. And once that is done, as y'all can see, I'm moving on to the opposite side of my client's head, and we're basically going to be doing the same exact steps. This is my 2 guard open first, then 2 guard close, and then we're going to use the 1.5 guard. And like I said, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the opposite side. A lot of people be asking me how I feel about these low pro FX1s, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I really like that MIM blade on this clipper. I prefer the regular FX1s. I don't know if they're called the regular FX1s, but y'all know the ones that look like the metal FX. Those are my favorite clippers from Babyliss right now, right? Like, I like the low pros, I like the low pro FX1s, but just for whatever reason, I just like the traditional Babyliss style clipper. That's just my personal favorite. However, these clippers do work well. The MIM blade really makes a big difference on these. So once again, guys, if you're interested on purchasing these, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com. Use my discount code TANK10 on that website to save yourself some money. And I will put the link down in the description also, so y'all make sure to check that out. And I have a bunch of other discount codes in the description also, so y'all can check those discount codes out. Use them as you please, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, man, moving back into this haircut, as you can see, this blend is coming together. We are using the half guard right now, trying to polish this blend a little bit using my brush to brush away excess debris. Then we're going back in with that trimmer, cleaning up the bottom of this blend, trying to make it look nice, trying to make it look like how S-Craft says, where you don't really know where the blend starts and don't really know where the blend ends, right? Like you want that infinite fade look. At least that's the type of fades I like to do. Once again, guys, it's all about preference. It's all about what style of haircut you want to give and what style of haircut your clients want. Like I said earlier, I like my blends to be a little stretched, so that's the whole premise of my steps. The way I use my steps and I do my blueprint, that's gonna give me the fade that I'm looking for. But as y'all can see here, man, we're just working on the opposite side of the lineup, doing the same thing to this side as we did to the other side, trying to curve that C-cup a little bit, not trying to push it back at all. And then we're gonna go in and use the blending shears once again to tie the sides of the fade to the top of the haircut. Let me know down in the comments if y'all use blending shears. I use them when I have longer hair on top. I don't use them on every haircut, but I do use them when I have clients who have hair longer than like a 6 or an 8. I'll use them to blend it in if I need to. Now we're going back in and doing some detail work on this side. Now that we got more of a finished product, we can see, you know, what spots we need to buff out, what areas need to be cleaned up a little bit, where do we need to actually do some of this detail work. And now we're going in with a half guard. And now this is either my 1.5 or my 2 guard. I don't want to lie to y'all. I'm thinking it's my 1.5 guard though, but nonetheless, man, when you do detail work, just do whatever you feel is necessary to get that part of the blend to look right. And as you can see here, we're moving on to the razor work. We're just trying to get these lines to look sharp. We ain't gonna be adding any enhancements on this cut. We're gonna keep it nice and natural, as y'all can see. But we still just trying to make sure these lines really pop and still give a super sharp line. Whether we add enhancements or not, we want to make sure that we got that lineup looking crispy, you know what I'm saying? But check it out, man. This is how my client left the shop. This is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbechopping.com. You can book there. If you want any discount on tools, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com. Use my discount code TANK10. But once again, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.